It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Another episode coming at you. It is a beautiful day outside here in Princeton, New Jersey on the first weekend of October. So we got to get our walk in, we got to get our outside time in and our fresh air. But I wanted to just alert all of you that there is some great television that is now available on Netflix for all of us to watch. So I have twice in the past in this series talked about two of my favorite newer television shows. One is The Good Place by NBC. I talked about The Good Place in episode 4, so you might want to check that out. I also talked a little bit about The Good Place and Schitt's Creek on episode 17, I think it was. I was talking about the Emmy Awards that were coming up. So these two television shows have quickly become Megan's and my favorite television shows. And I think there's a specific reason why. The last 4 years in America, living through these last 4 years in America, have been just an absolute barrage, a continuing assault on our emotional psyches. It's been triggering almost to live on a daily basis and just be confronted with corruption and bad story after bad story after bad story. We have an inside joke in our household. It's like a little gift that we use. It's like the opposite of what should happen, right? It's like whenever we can't come up with the words to describe how we feel about something that should never occur. And we say the opposite of what should happen. Just, like we're in the upside down, to borrow from Stranger Things, another one of our favorite shows. But the thing about Schitt's Creek and The Good Place that really speak to me is that they give me, in the stories that these shows tell, they give me a sense of renewed hope in the goodness of humanity. And that we can work through these things, and that we can be buoyed by what's good in the world and what binds us together. And these stories are just absolutely wonderful, and I know that we're going to come back to them time and time again. So Schitt's Creek just historically swept the Emmys. It is the only show, I think, in the history of American television to sweep all 4 major acting categories in one season. They also won for Best Writing and Best Overall Television Show. This is a show that starts off as a fish out of water show. I think we've talked about this before a little bit. But it quickly morphs into sort of revealing the worries and the weakness points and the flaws in these characters, and they start to try to improve themselves as they start to uncover what it is that's making them feel inherently uncontented or not, satiated, and you want to root for them. And over a period of time through these episodes, these characters, all of them, experience fundamental growth as humans. They become better people, and you just are. It's like they're your best friends, and you want them to succeed, and you want them to be better, and you celebrate their arc as characters. And that's what can happen with really great character-driven drama and comedy. I remember hearing Eugene Levy, the dad on the show, mention something like, we're not doing this show for overt laughs. We're not playing it like a joke line. Their lines. They were just these are dramatic things that are happening to these characters in their lives, and just the way that they interact with each other and their quirks are what make it humorous and make it funny and make us identify with them. Schitt's Creek also has one of the most profound love stories, I think, in modern American or any television series. David and Patrick is an endearing story of people falling in love, of accepting each other as they are, and just working through what it means to cultivate a mature and loving and safe relationship. And it's just so endearing. I absolutely love this show. And on Netflix, they have had the first 5 seasons out for several months, for about a year. But now this weekend is now you can watch all 6 seasons of Schitt's Creek right on Netflix. And one of the great things that I like about this show is that they are writing the reality in the world that we would like to see be true. Reality has been tough to swallow for these last several years, and it's been difficult to trust the motivation and the innate goodness of people. Like, do we still believe in society? Do we still want to love our neighbor as ourselves? Do we still want to try to live up to these ethical standards that should be part of everyday life in an advanced and free and democratic society? And David and Patrick's relationship, obviously, they are two men. And so this story of their courtship, the way that they meet, and the way that they cultivate their relationship throughout the latter half of this series is presented in a way that a couple times you understand that they know that homophobia exists as a thing, that people might have negative aspects or negative thoughts about people who are gay. But the townspeople, the parents, everybody they come in contact with, it is not a big deal, and it's not even a deal to them. It's just, hey, David and Patrick are in a relationship, and we support them, and it's just like any other mature relationship between two consenting adults, and it's just the way, and they present it in just the way that things could be if people didn't have their brains scrambled by bad ideas that inherently tell people that people that love another person in a specific way is somehow inherently wrong. You know, it's Modern Family started on this. You know, they reflected what a gay relationship could be. You know, a relationship between two adult males could be, and how funny and, sad to say it, normal it is. And, you know, they didn't write these characters in Schitt's Creek as overcoming some huge obstacle or having their relationship be based out of trauma of past experiences because of their gayness, right? It's just the way the world should be. And it's quite profound that it's happening in a small rural town. And I just love the show for that and for so many other things. The Good Place, also this weekend. The Good Place, now you can watch all 4 seasons of The Good Place on Netflix. No commercials, and I'm just giddy about it. I've already watched half of the 4th season already, just to remind myself of it, because I haven't been able to watch the last season of The Good Place again in a while because it was not on my DVR. So the thing about The Good Place that gets me is that it is a show about what the afterlife and what human existence could be if we weren't all trapped in the dogma and all of the existing accounts of what it is and what it should be, or who's right and who's wrong. It's just an honest exploration of what it means to be human, how difficult it is to be kind and loving and giving, and what that really means. Like, when should we stick up for ourselves, and when should we just be nice, and what ramifications do those have? Do our decisions have on the people around us? And it's just a wonderful, wonderful exposition of ethics and what it means to be committed to goodness, and the pitfalls that happen with that. It's such an enormously wonderful achievement by their writers. The only thing that I don't like about Schitt's Creek sweeping the Emmys is that the great work of Mike Schur and the rest of the people on The Good Place got overlooked in their culminating year. And the last episode of Schitt's Creek won for Best Writing, the Emmy for Best Writing. I honestly, full disclosure, I thought that the last episode of The Good Place should have won, even though the last episode of Schitt's Creek is wonderful. But the last episode of The Good Place, where this wraps up completely, is the best hour and a half of television that I think has been produced on network television or any television, for its ethical and human impact. Absolutely wonderful. So my pitch to you guys is, you got to go watch these shows. If you are in need of a good laugh, a good story, and a reminder of the innate goodness of human beings and what we can do for each other, and how we can just be better. They reaffirm my hope in humanity, and I hope that they'll reaffirm yours. They're great shows. They're just I can't say enough. They're just wonderful. So I wanted to say that before we go outside and go for a walk and enjoy the great weather. When it's a rainy day and you're looking for some shows to watch, don't overlook Schitt's Creek and The Good Place. Until next time, we will see you back on The Daily Doug.